We're chatting to Jeremy Loops.
Oh, wow, that's a nice compliment. Thank you.
Listen, it's been a while since you've been in the country. You've been touring all over.
Yes, man.
How's life been? Oh, there we go.
Sorry, I'm just receiving a drink.
A beverage.
A beverage, yeah.
Welcome back to the country, first and
thank you.
foremost.
It's good to be home. I mean, what a welcome back. This has been a beautiful day.
This has got to be the best crowd to perform, to be honest.
Well, today certainly was. Like I played a few Joburg days, and this hands down smashes any performance I've had here. So that was just a nice welcome for us. I think it has something to do with the fact that we've had certain songs like Waves and Freak rotating on your station, so people just knew what was up today, which felt amazing. It felt right.
Speaking of songs from the album having rotation, when the album Critical as Water came out, it got a brilliant reception from the onset. Everyone's been loving it. But I do have to ask, the difference between sitting in studio, putting the album together, making the music, versus coming to an event like this and performing it and sharing the music with the crowd, which do you prefer?
For sure, it's got to be live performance. I mean, making albums is actually, one, it's incredibly stressful. Like it's a long process, and you have all these ideas about how you want your songs to sound, and whether those get translated properly, like into the album and into the recordings, is like a real, it's a work of love and it's a work of pain. Like you often spend, weeks at a time on a single song, and then you're still at the end not sure if that's how you really wanted it to sound,
and you're not sure if everyone's gonna love it.
But with the live situation, I mean, thankfully the recording of my second album, I worked with an amazing producer, and in an amazing studio, and I had my ideas like pretty solid before, so I'm really happy with the way this new album turned out, and it's obviously being received really well as well, which is great. But performing live to crowds like this, on days like this, there's no barrier, it's just the music and the people and the energy, and if it's not right, you feel it, and when it's right, you feel it. And so this is the feeling I'm used to. Like, I'm a live performer first and foremost, so it felt great today.
So then, on the back of that question, for you personally, which numbers would you say matter more, album sales versus faces in the crowd?
Oh, for sure, face in the crowd. I mean, I've been promoting that idea for so long, which is why I've been, for the last 5 years, going overseas and trying to build an international audience. I could have stayed home, played shows all across South Africa, and bought myself houses and Bentleys by now. But I have been putting all that money into getting this band across the world so that we can perform. And the result is that we're now selling out 3,000-seater rooms in London, in Zurich.
Which is incredible.
We're selling big rooms out there. And that's something that no other bands from South Africa have done yet. So that feels important, I think, for the live culture of South African music, and it's been incredibly tough, but it's
been worth it, right?
So worth it. That's what I live for.
Not to say there's anything wrong with cashing in on a Bentley, right?
No, absolutely not. My day will come. My days will come.
So yesterday you were chatting to Ayanda MVP, and I came across this moment specifically as soon as I turned on my radio, and you mentioned every time you travel, you're trying to learn the language of the country that you're traveling to. And you mentioned specifically that you're trying to learn French and Italian.
Well, I said I tried to learn French and Italian, like back when I was staying in Italy for a little while and gigging there. I met an Italian girl, and that was she tried to teach me some things, but she ended up shouting at me a lot, to be honest. And I could like walk into a restaurant and say like, uno vino rosso, un acqua frizzante per piacere, like one red wine and one sparkling water, please.
And that's it.
And then that's kind of where I end.
Okay, well, I've done you some courtesy, right?
Okay, brilliant.
I decided to take the liberty to translate one of your songs.
Brilliant.
Okay, so we're going to learn this together because I might mispronounce every single word.
Probably. I mean, do you speak French?
Je parle un peu français.
Okay, a little bit.
Just a little bit. Okay, so here we go. Now I need you to guess the name of the song as well. The line from the song is, Il è onde si lavano su me di, perché riptide mi tira fiore nel profondo. I probably mispronounced every single word in that.
I didn't want to leave you down south. No?
No. Il è onde si lavano su di me perché il riptide mi tira fiore nel profondo.
I have no idea. I have no idea what song that is.
It's Waves.
It's Waves.
It's Waves, and the waves, they crash over me.
Is that what it means? And the waves, they crash over me. I wouldn't have guessed. I mean, I should have guessed Waves because it's one of the main songs.
And also, Riptide was a dead giveaway.
Yeah, but why? Riptide's just, okay. I see, yeah, that was a giveaway. I was wondering what that was doing there. Which of my songs has Riptide in it?
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, that's why that's why I also admitted during that interview that I have not really come away knowing any of these languages.
It's okay.
Thank
it's
you.
okay. You speak English perfectly well.
Thank you.
That's good enough.
Something I'm working on. All right.
Thank you very much for hanging out with us, Jeremy.
Yeah,
Always
it's a pleasure
to have you on 947.